I think it's incredibly weak. Weak sauce to show up with your running mate. The fact that they don't have enough confidence in her to let her sit herself, the actual top of the ticket, and do a single interview. In fact, I think the hand-wringing and the gyrations over this over the last month show a troubling lack of confidence in her political ability.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering. America, welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. After 37 days of canned speeches, manufactured moments, and political stagecraft, the designee for the Democratic Party for President, Kamala Harris, will finally sit down for her first interview as the designee. Sort of. You see, the interview is going to be with CNN's Dana Bash. It's going to also include her running mate, Tim Walz. And it's going to be pre-recorded.
AstroTurf.
It certainly appears as though the campaign for the designee doesn't really trust her to speak contemporaneously. At least that's what the Republicans are saying, and that's certainly what Donald Trump is saying, that Kamala Harris can't be trusted with a live microphone. We're going to go into the circumstances surrounding this interview, how it's affecting the campaigns, and how there's even been a debate within Democrat circles as to whether or not Kamala Harris should be questioned at all. But before we get to all of that, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the shows. And if you like what you're seeing here in this or any other video on this fine little political channel, I'm going to ask you guys to please smash that thumbs up button. Like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that really, really good stuff, because all that's going to feed the YouTube algorithm.
Feed me, Seymour.
Just like every other video, I want to thank you guys for all that you do to help grow the channel. I appreciate all of your efforts. If you're new to the channel, I hope this video earns your subscription. And while you're here, check out the sweet merch like this awesome Less Government, More Fun shirt. It's a great conversation starter. You can pick it up in the store tab on the YouTube channel or go to shop.buffoonoftheweek.com.
This guy is a grifter.
Back to the story here. The Harris campaign has been treating this moment very meticulously. There haven't been many contemporaneous off-the-cuff moments with Kamala Harris since she's become the designee for president. Notice I don't call her the nominee. She was designated by a party after they fixed the primary for Joe Biden, and now she's been installed once they realized that Joe Biden was a dud of a candidate.
Get rid of him. Throw him under a bus.
And because the Republicans and Donald Trump and his campaign are questioning whether or not Kamala Harris can find a coherent sentence on her own with two hands and a flashlight. We've seen the word salads, ladies and gentlemen, and all people in between. And the word out there from the Republicans is that Kamala Harris is not trusted by the Democrats to speak contemporaneously. Quick programming note, tonight, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we continue the shenanigans of buffoonery as we go live behind enemy lines. And they think that this word salad that Kamala Harris does, the moving of the shoulders that we talked about in Behind Enemy Lines, the giggling, the awkwardness of Kamala Harris, the anxiety that she seems to exhibit when speaking off the cuff, is going to be her undoing, and that's going to signal the end of the honeymoon phase for the Democrat campaign. It's even gotten to the point on Democrat sides where people are even questioning whether or not Kamala Harris should be questioned at all. What am I talking about? Let's check out this clip. For those of you who don't follow hip-hop, or maybe you're not on social media as much, this is Plies. He is a former college football player turned rapper who's put out some great music. I remember he did a song with T-Pain back in the day. And he's also on social media. He's certainly an influencer. There's some viral videos and clips out there from him. Check him out if you want to. The reason why we're using this clip is because occasionally Plies will talk about politics on his social media. And this particular clip talks about Kamala Harris and this controversy over why she hasn't spoken about her platform, why she doesn't sit down for interviews. Let's listen to this take, but before we do, a quick disclaimer. This clip has edited profanity in it, so if you're a little squeamish when it comes to your virgin ears, you may want to skip ahead on this to the end of this. I'm going to put the time frame we should go to right now at the bottom of the video. There it is right there. That's where you'll get my analysis of this whole thing. But for those of you who have a stronger constitution, let's go through what Plies has to say.
It is real quick. But to everybody who, especially the ones who look like me, and the men who look like me, who quick to, if Kamala want my vote, she need to explain herself to me what she gonna do for the black people.
By the way, that mockery, I don't subscribe to that at all. I don't think anybody actually talks like that in any community. But we're also putting up this count, the MFR count. Watch this thing skyrocket.
Listen. Stop asking a black woman to explain themselves to you or explain themselves to y'all. If y'all ain't willing to ask a white man, then can explain himself. Y'all cool with the white man not explaining his motherfucking to you. Oh, the black, she need to explain herself to me what she gonna do for the black community. She want my vote, she need to explain herself. You ain't asking the white man to explain his motherfucking self. You too much scared to ask him.
This man is mothering at a high motherfucking rate. I haven't heard a rate of motherfuckery like this since I was back in motherfucking high school when I went to Sheepshead Bay High School back in the 90s. Motherfuckers were motherfuckering all over the motherfucking place back then.
Ooh, you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Plies is saying, how dare you question this black woman about her policies? How dare you not question the white man about his policies? I don't know where Plies has been lately, but every presidential candidate has to explain themselves, whether they're white, black, male, female, anything else in between, whatever color you want to be. Everybody has to answer for what they believe in. It's a job interview. Elections are job interviews. People have to know what you stand for in order to decide whether or not to hire you for the job. This is just complete civic ignorance.
Somebody need to explain something to y'all. Well, she been in the office already 3.5 years. Why she ain't do all the things she said she was gonna do? Cause she ain't the motherfucking president. That's why. When you go to the fucking McDonald's, that lady that's the fucking manager, she don't get to do what the fuck she want to do. She might can give you some fries, but that's about it. Some free fries. That's about all she can do. But she can't change the price of that quarter pound up there. Oh, that Big Mike.
So we're comparing the second most powerful office in the country, nay, in the world, to being a manager at McDonald's?
Not a great analogy.
She's just a manager? She's a little more than that, Plies. Being vice president means that you are the president of the Senate. You get to decide votes on policy that are tied in the Senate. And she's done that a record number of times. You are also given tasks by the president and authority by the president to do certain things, such as to be a border czar. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, not a border czar, but to manage the border in a diplomacy sort of way, or whatever the hell they're coming up with now, to apologize for the lack of progress on the border, for the fact that the border is an absolute mess. So no, Plies, she's not a motherfucking manager. She's a little bit more than that. I gotta chill with the motherfuckers. I'm sorry about that, but he's got me hyped.
That ain't that lady White House. She just like the man. You fall in line. Now, if you can get some free fries out every now and again, you get some free fries out. But y'all know this, most of y'all. But y'all just want something to say. Now, if she was if she was the president and didn't do something, then that's a whole different ball game.
All right, this is goddamn ridiculous.
Is this how people think outside of political spheres? I'm in the bubble. I'm in a political bubble. I try to get out of it as far as partisanship is concerned. But I'm also in a legal bubble when I'm at work, and we have to have a strong vocabulary to be able to communicate what we actually mean on behalf of our clients. Is this what's going on out in these streets? Or am I just coming across a very rare occasion where this is completely exaggerated? Now, granted, this is social media, so Plies might be exaggerating for effect here. And I'll give him a little bit of that benefit of the doubt here, because, again, this is a high motherfucking rate. But do people actually think that offices in politics, these high offices, really don't do anything, and therefore you shouldn't question someone about looking for a promotion to that higher job? I certainly hope not.
And the same who the black woman need to explain this. Y'all the same when Barack was running, he wasn't black enough for you neither. And a lot of y'all, I done figured out what y'all getting confused. Y'all don't even want black. Y'all want ignorant. That's what you want. A lot of y'all think ignorant mean black. And that's why some of you like Trump, because he ignorant. But I'm here to tell you, everybody black ain't ignorant. And everybody white ain't smart. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Alrighty then, it's safe for all of you guys to come out of hiding now if you want. Whew, where to begin with this? It feels like we just went into something a little more racist than we did talking about policy and power. Started talking about how Kamala Harris isn't black enough because she's not ignorant, and that people equate black with ignorant, and that's why they're going for Trump. That was a ride. Let me tell you something. I don't know if there are people that think this way, but if you are one of those people out there that thinks this way,
God have mercy on your soul.
Try thinking a different way for the sake of all of us, because that is so detached from reality that I don't even have the words to communicate what to say at this moment. It's just so buffoonish. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. In response to the video that you just watched, and boy was that a ride, Charlamagne the God on his national show, The Breakfast Club, he had a response to Plies. And believe it or not, gang, I'm with Charlamagne on this one.
Plies is absolutely, positively wrong. If people are asking questions, that's great. I don't even know why Plies is making this a black woman versus black man thing. This isn't about black men and black women. It's about elected officials and potential voters. The whole point of campaign season is for candidates to go out there and explain to the American people why they should be the one in charge of this country. Votes are earned, not given, and they are earned through you going out there and explaining yourself. Vice President Kamala Harris has to go out there and explain her agenda and why she's the person for the job. Former President Donald Trump has to go out there and explain his agenda and why he should be the person to get his job again.
That actually makes sense.
Pretty simple, right? I don't need to do any in-depth analysis on this. Like I said earlier, the election for any office is a job interview. Someone wants to attain a job, the public position in office of whatever it may be, president, vice president, city council, town supervisor, whatever the case may be, dog catcher, I don't care. They have to go before the voters and explain why they are the best for the job. Some do it more elaborately with policy positions and papers on websites. Some go out there to door to door and they start knocking and tell people what they believe. Others take to giant stages in front of tens of thousands of people and explain what they're all about. And then others are cloistered away, hiding from the press, hiding from the public, and only come out to speak in very measured, rehearsed terms. Heretofore, Kamala Harris has been doing the latter, much like Biden did in 2020. And why wouldn't she? It was a strategy that ended up working, putting a lid on her day, not coming to speak publicly out there or contemporaneously. It worked for Biden against Trump. Trump was out there every day speaking, and in some ways over-speaking and speaking inartfully or unartfully, however you want to say it. By the way, both words are valid. You can use either one, folks. I learned that this week. Trump is out there speaking maybe too much. Kamala Harris is out there speaking not enough. But at some point, the job interview ends and you vote for who you want to vote for. Now, Kamala Harris is finally going to come out before the people and speak, hopefully off the cuff, with the help of CNN editing it up most likely, and with Tim Walz sitting there to cover up and take up some of the time there. But Charlamagne here is absolutely right. Get out there and tell people what you believe. That's the way politics should work.
you know, or get the job again. I don't understand Plies or any black person for that matter telling black people to just settle. Just accept whatever the candidate is giving you. Don't ask any questions.
Yeah, but
just
they've been
vote.
doing it.
They don't have to explain anything to us.
They've been doing it for a long time. Even with Biden, when we ask questions to Biden, well, it's the best of two evils. You know what I mean? You got to pick one. But no, if you have questions, people should be able to ask. That's the point of a politician, right? They're supposed to represent us, represent our district, represent our country. Shouldn't we ask?
And by the way,
oh my God, I'm agreeing with DJ Envy here too. I guess they learned a lesson from the whole "you ain't black" moment from Joe Biden.
Flashback.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
End of flashback.
Maybe they get it now. Maybe they realize that Democrats take black voters for granted, and they want people to think like Plies, to think that Kamala Harris is the candidate. That's who we're voting for. Shut off your brain right now. That's what we're doing. Everybody get in line all together. We're a monolith anyway. We're not a group of individuals that have independent thinking. And let's all just go to the polls and vote for Kamala Harris. It's not the way it works anymore. And we saw earlier when Biden was the candidate that black voters were breaking away from the Democrat Party. Kamala Harris is bringing them back into the fold, more likely, because of identity politics like this and like what Plies is saying. But Charlamagne and DJ Envy advocating for independent thinking, for holding candidates' feet to the fire, pretty cool.
They should be explaining without us asking. That's the whole point of them doing these press conferences and these meetings.
Yeah.
The same way these politicians have meetings for their donors and they have rallies and press conferences explaining themselves and their agendas to certain groups, they should have to explain themselves to black people the same way. Plies is 1,000,000,000% wrong.
I couldn't agree more. Whether you're like CNN's Scott Jennings and think that the whole Harris interview is weak sauce, whether you think that Plies is correct in saying that doesn't matter what she thinks, just go settle for Kamala Harris, or if you're in that group like me that agree with Charlamagne and DJ Envy, I can't believe I'm still saying that this campaign is supposed to be a job interview, the election is supposed to be a job interview, and we're supposed to hear from candidates about what they believe and who they are and measure them so that they can earn the vote, much like I try to earn your subscription.
Hintity, hint, hint.
This moment coming up with Kamala Harris in this interview is being set up as a turning point, as a bellwether in many ways. For the Republicans, it's to prove their narrative right, to show that Kamala Harris has trouble speaking, that the honeymoon period is over, and this is what you can expect from the real Kamala Harris when she may, hopefully not, but may become president of the United States. For the Democrats, it's to prove that narrative wrong, to prove that Kamala Harris is brilliant. She can speak on her feet. She can present well. She has command of the issues. She doesn't need Tim Walz to be near her to do that, although he will be there. And even though it's in front of CNN and it will be pre-recorded, they're taking some of the reins and they're letting them loose a little bit on Kamala Harris to show that she can handle herself on her own. Either way, it's going to be an interesting moment on Thursday watching CNN with this interview to see which side turns out to be right. But listen, that's just my opinion, gang. I want to know what you think. Let's get into those comments together. And as always, like and share the video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the shows. Check out the merch. Get your Less Government, More Fun shirt at shop.buffoonoftheweek.com. Let's talk about this video and all the other shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.